Well, joining us with more is Alfredo Ortiz. Mr. Ortiz is the CEO of Job Creators Network. First, Mr. Ortiz, what did you think of the latest jobs numbers?
Gary, I have to tell you, first of all, thank you for having me. We couldn't be more excited as Job Creators Network. Optimism is at the highest levels ever, and the 3.9% unemployment shows that the tax cuts are working for the American public and for our businesses, whether you're a small business, medium business, or a large business. It's working, and we're excited to see these numbers that we are. And by the way, these are historic lows across every single demographic, whether it's white, black, Hispanic, Asian. These numbers are working for everyone.
Now, critics say the numbers were disappointing because only 157,000 new jobs were added. Why the slowdown? Are they onto something there?
Well, no. I mean, what we're seeing is really, for the first time also in history, we're seeing that there are more jobs available than there are actually people to fill them. The biggest thing that we're seeing is that there now is really a skills gap, and I think that's what's actually coming down here. There was never really a wage gap in this country really, but there was really a skills gap, and I think that's what employers are starting to see. But the good news is there's a term called the U6 unemployment rate. That was actually really, really critical because that picks up, first of all, people who are frustrated, who stopped looking for jobs or were part-time that wanted full-time jobs, and those are actually looking much, much better. Those rates are really low, which means that more of the people who normally traditionally were kind of on the sidelines, they're coming back into the labor force, and we're really excited to see that.
Well, where are most of the new jobs being created right now? What sector of the economy?
Yeah, that's a great thing. You know, that's also another exciting thing that we're seeing. We're seeing that growth in the sectors that, frankly, the previous administration and the Obama administration, they said those jobs were gone. These are manufacturing jobs, construction jobs, mining jobs. There are about 1 million of those jobs were formed. And so we're really excited. And when you look at that kind of job growth, 3.5 million new jobs created really since President Trump took office. And these are the jobs, 1 million or so jobs that, frankly, the previous administration, again, President Obama said those jobs were gone. We're excited to see those back because these are hard-working, middle-class American-type jobs that, frankly, we need more of in this country.
And where specifically in the country, what states are we seeing the biggest growth?
You know, the exciting thing is we're seeing growth, for example, in West Virginia. I was actually at a stop with the vice president just a couple of weeks ago in Wheeling, West Virginia. That optimism was sky high. The room full of people, they were excited about the jobs coming back. We're talking coal, we're talking steel. Again, a lot of jobs that were previously thought to have been almost non-existent in this country, those are all coming back. And of course, construction is at an all-time high. And business investment is at an 8% growth rate versus previous year. That's incredible. We hadn't seen those kinds of rates in reinvestment in business in a very, very long time.
And what do you expect might happen then, finally wrapping this up? What may happen in the months ahead? Continued growth and expansion, or do you think things will start cooling down a bit?
I think we're going to continue to see great growth. I mean, the one thing that we're doing, this is not a one-time kind of thing where you're boosting the economy with some kind of, an infusion of cash into the economy. This is basically an overall shift in the way we view the economy, in the way we view regulations. I mean, our small business owners used to tell us that over-regulation, over-taxation, and the lack of access to capital and credit were the three main things that were keeping them behind. The president and this administration has tackled all three of those. We're very excited to see it. So we're going to continue to see that growth because the environment has changed. But I will tell you, in November, what is at stake is the prosperity that we are seeing today, or the lack of prosperity that we saw in the 8 years under the Obama administration.
Well, I think many Americans are hoping this fall they'll get a few more crumbs, as Nancy Pelosi refers to tax cuts.
That's right. That's
okay,
right. That's
Alfredo
right.
Ortiz, CEO of Job Creators Network, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.